Hey, it's your girl Latoya J, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do an easy eyebrow tutorial, something that you can easily follow along with. So if you want to watch an eyebrow tutorial that's easy, friendly for beginners, just keep watching this video. Okay, so first off, I like to start off with an eyebrow pencil, and I use the color Stud, and it's by MAC, and this is what it looks like. And so what I do is I take the end of the MAC pencil, the brush side, and what I do is I brush my natural brows in an upward motion, just following the natural shape of my eyebrow. I just brush them up in an upward motion, and this is how I start them out. Now, as you can see, I desperately need a good waxing, but as we all know, right now we are social distancing, we're quarantining, we're staying away from people. So right now, the shops and everything are closed, and unfortunately, I have not learned how to pluck my own brows. So this is what we have, but I'm going to show you how to make this work. Okay, so what I do is start with the other end of my eyebrow pencil, and again, like I said, this is the shade Stud, and this is in MAC. And so what I do is I just follow the natural shape of my brow, and I do hair-like strokes. Again, just follow the natural shape of your eyebrow. So as you can see, what all I did was outline the bottom of this brow, and now I'm going towards the top to do the exact same thing and line the top part of my brow. Okay, so this is pretty much what we have. So what I'll do is I'll take the other end of the brush again, and I'm just going to comb that end, blending that in an upward motion, and just kind of blending those lines out, blending those harsh lines out. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna also take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, and I'm going to use that, and it's in the color Ebony. So I'm going to use that, and I'm also going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, and this is just an angled brush, as you can see. Anastasia angled brush, and it also has a spoolie at the end of this brush as well. So, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my brush and just dip that in just a little bit. You really don't need much. A little goes a long way. So I'm just gonna take a little of that, and then I'm just going to blend that in using hair-like strokes. And I don't like to start at the very beginning because your natural brows are sparse from the beginning. You don't want that to be too harsh. So I kind of start midways, and I just fill in all of that. Just fill in. Okay, and then I take the end of this brush and I just blend all of that in together. And you just blend, 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 blend until you get it looking exactly the way you want that to look. Okay, and so that's pretty much one brow. So as you can see, you can tell quite a big difference. Quite a big difference. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do the very exact same thing with this eyebrow. Again, I'm just gonna go back and brush it up again, and I'm using my MAC brush and stud. All right, and so I go on to the other end of my brush and do the exact same thing. So as you can see, I am just outlining the bottom of my brow, just following the natural shape of my eyebrow. And now I'm going above the eyebrow, doing the exact same thing, just following that natural shape. Just shading all of that in. And now I'm going in with the Beverly Hills, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and I'm filling in that brow. And that just helps to darken up the eyebrow. Everyone kind of has their own style of how they like their brows. That just helps to darken it out. So now I'm just taking that spoolie brush and I'm just combing that, blending that all in. Just combing it in an upward motion. Just making sure all of the product is spread throughout the brow. All right, so now that we have both brows filled in, now I'm gonna go in with the LA Pro Girl Concealer in the color Fawn. This is what this is. I don't know if it will zoom in or not, but however, that's the color Fawn. And this is what I use to go and clean up my brows. And I just put a little bit on the back of my hand, just like that. And I'm gonna use a brush by Kiss New York. It's just a regular little eyeshadow brush. I'm just gonna use that to clean up my brows. So I'm gonna just take a little of that, get a little of that on the brush, and then I'm gonna go up under and clean them up. Okay, so all I'm doing is just going up under the line, and I'm just cleaning that up. Take a little bit more on my brush, and I'm gonna clean the rest. Just following that line. And then I'll go back and forth, just kind of making sure that I have that line exactly the way I want it. And this will take a lot of practice. You don't learn how to do this overnight. So it just takes a lot of practice. Just know that. And normally I do a little bit better of a job, but it's kind of different because I'm looking into my phone and trying to do my brow, and I'm used to looking in the mirror, so it's gonna be a little bit more challenging for me trying to do this on and looking into a phone versus a mirror. So, but normally I'm pretty good with this. But once you get that line as straight and clean as you want it, all you do is just drag the rest of that concealer downward. Just drag all of that concealer downward. Just drag it all down. Okay, so now that I have this concealer all dragged down, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my e.l.f. brush, and it's just a blending brush is what it is. I'm just going to take that and just blend that out. Alright, so now that we have this brow all blended out, now we're going to go over and conceal and do the exact same thing that we did for this brow. We're going to do it for that brow. And so I'm putting a little bit more of this concealer and fawn on the back of my hand like so. And I'm going to take that same brush by Kiss New York and do the exact same thing. Okay, once you get that line as straight as you are comfortable with, you can start to drag all of that concealer downward, down towards your lid. Okay, so once I have all the concealer blended downward on this, I'm going to take that same fluffy brush in e.l.f. and I'm going to just blend that on out. Same way we did the other eye. Okay, so now that I have both brows concealed up under, now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to go above. I'm going to conceal above both brows. So I'm going to take the same brush in Kiss New York and same concealer Fawn on the back of my hand. I'm going to use that to do the very exact same thing. And I'm just going to go above the brow. Okay, so as you can see, I just went above that brow and did the very same thing that I did up under, and I'm going to do the same for this. And so now that I have that blended, I'm going to just take this Sephora brush, and it's a Pro Blending brush by Sephora. I'm just going to take that brush and I'm just going to blend all of that out. We're just taking this brush and we're just making sure we blend everything out. now I've just blended all of the concealer above my eyebrow and below. And again, like I said, I have not had an eyebrow wax in quite some time, so it won't be quite as neat as you can possibly get it, but for what's going on right now, this will do. So this is pretty much what we have here. This is the final product. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Again, I didn't use but what, 3 different products, and that was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. Again, this is in the color Ebony. And then again, I used my MAC eyebrow pencil, and this is in the color Stud. And then I also used the LA Pro Concealer in the color Fawn. And I used about just 3. I used 3 brushes. I used the Pro Blending Brush, and this is by Sephora. And then I ended up using the e.l.f. blending brush. I used that as well. And then I also used the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pencil. It's in the number 12. So really and truly, not many products. It's pretty plain and simple, and you can make your brows as light as you want. You can create them as dark as you want. You can create them whichever shape you like. Me, I pretty much follow the natural shape of my brow. Of course, I elongated them a little. I drew them in darker, so it just depends on what your look is for. I feel like there's no right or wrong when it comes to, you know, how you like for your brows to be. Just make them the way you feel comfortable making them to look. So and remember, brows are sisters, not twins, so they're not always exactly alike. Sometimes I have my good days where I can get them like just like that and they're identical, but most times your eyebrows are sisters, not twins. So, you know, hey, if they're not quite the same, you know, it's okay. Just get them as close as possible to look the same. And I feel like that's pretty much all you can do. So again, I think this is a pretty simple, easy breezy type tutorial, but there are a lot of products that you can also include. You know, a lot of YouTubers like to use what you would call like a brow setting gel type of whatever situation, and it pretty much just locks your brows in place. You can also set your brows as well. You can use midnight banana powder, any type of translucent powder you want to use to set your brows, just to make sure that they stay in place, because sometimes we sweat, sometimes we get a little oil, you know, especially if you have oily skin, and I know I have oily skin, so sometimes I sweat, and you can tell it in my brows. So they have all types of different things that you can do, but I just wanted to make this video as short and sweet and simple as possible, so you can kind of just, you know, pretty much get the picture, follow along. But however, this is the final look with the brows. Again, if you're not quite satisfied, you can always go back in with your concealer and your brush and clean up, you know. And if, you know, hey, if it's not turning out the way you want, you can always get your wipe and, hey, just start over. But get your brows to look the way you like. Me, I'm not an expert. I just show you what I do and what products I use. So again, I hope that someone find this video helpful, useful. So again, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions, anything that I should try, any advice that you can give me. Just leave it down in the comments below. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe and hit that bell so that you will be one of the first to receive notifications of my videos. Again, I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys find it helpful, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.